What's up guys, my name is Asian Psycho, and this will be the third chapter to my Exploring the Arsenal series with me, Asian Psycho, aka Toho Sniper 98. So I hope you guys been enjoying this series so far. I know that it's going to take me a long time to get to certain guns, but bear with me as I go through these, and hopefully I'll be able to progress through all the guns in rank order as quickly as I can. So let's not delay any further, and we'll get right into the K2 review. Now, the K2 is actually a very strange gun. It's not very used widely at all. In fact, it's one of the most underused guns in my opinion, while it's still a very solid gun. Although there are certain downsides to it that I would like to cover, and it kind of makes or breaks the K2 for certain people, so I want to make sure I cover those. So let's get right into the statistics of the K2. Now, the K2 has a damage of 40, so damage-wise, it's not bad at all for an assault rifle. There are other assault rifles that aren't as powerful as it is, so I mean, damage is certainly actually very decent. Moving on to its portability. Portability is at a 57, so it's not the fastest assault rifle in the world. Technically speaking, it's actually as slow as the G36E, but I feel like the K2 is a little bit faster than the G36. Don't know why Nexon decided to give it a 57, but whatever. It's 57, that's what they say. Rate of fire is at 74, so it is on par with the M4A1. So definitely, it fires very fast. But here's the thing: it says that it has a damage of 40, but it actually doesn't feel like it kills that fast. I've had certain situations where I just wasn't killing fast enough, even though in some of those cases I did end up managing to kill the other guy. It felt like it took a lot of bullets to put someone down. So keep that in mind whenever you want to use the K2. Moving on to its accuracy. Its accuracy is at an 85, so it's on par with the AK-74U, whose chapter I did last episodes. And yeah, it's quite accurate for an assault rifle. Slap an ACOG on it, you'll be able to pull off some long distance shots. Though tap firing is another matter. I'll get to that in a second. Moving on to its recoil is at a 66, so it's about right for an assault rifle, I guess. There's other assault rifles that have higher recoil than it does, like G36 and AK-74M, or the AK-74U series, so yeah, that's that. And let's see, the recoil spread. Now here's where things get a little bit hairy. The K2 has a pretty bad recoil spread, even though it does start with a hip fire spread of an M4A1. If you're not, I think it's an M4A1. Either that. Actually, no, I take that back. It has a pretty bad recoil spread with the spread size of a G36. So not only does its spread size start out pretty bad, but the spread while going full auto is actually pretty terrible. So if you guys really want to spray with this gun, I suggest you going up to your opponent's face and doing that, because at middle range you're not gonna get anywhere unless you get a lucky lotto or something. Speaking of lottos, anyways. Moving on to his recoil kickback, its kickback technically isn't that much, but what is significant is that the kickback, it makes your gun jerk around a lot in your hands. That's what you need to be careful of. Moving on to its recoil controllability. Recoil controllability is quite tough on the K2, even if I say so myself, and sorry about that. I accidentally blew on the mic. Anyways, the K2's, once again, the K2 recoil is very hard to control because of its large hipfire spread and weird tendency to jerk around like irregularly in your hands for some reason. At least that's what I feel. And yeah, controlling the recoil on the K2 is actually quite a challenging task. Even I have trouble with it. Though I will get into that in a second, how to better control the recoil on your K2. Tapfire ability. This is what I was trying to talk about earlier. The K2 on the Tapfire ability on the K2 is good. But then if you tap fire too fast or for too long, at too fast of a rate, then you're going to start drifting off course or off target. So I think that you can tap fire very rapidly, like click, 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 for about the first 8 shots, and then it'll start trailing off, like going off diagonally upwards or something like that. So just something you should be careful of if you want to tap fire with the K2. Moving on to its center speed. Center speed is moderate, I guess, for an assault rifle. Its center speed doesn't really stand out in my head as really particularly fast, so I'm gonna look over that. Reload speed for the K2 is about actually its animation at least is the same as the AK-47, but if you slap an extended mag on the K2, the reload speed is faster than the AK-47 with an extended mag, I think. So, I mean, you guys can be better judges of that, but at least that's what I think for now. Otherwise, it's moderate. Moving on to its fire modes. Now, this is where the K2 is actually very unique and quite interesting. The K2 is the only assault rifle in Combat Arms to have all 3 fire modes available for it. Single fire, 3-round burst, and full auto. Although this is quite interesting, it can be kind of annoying at times because this is actually very important as well. When you spawn in a game, when you first join a game and with the K2 equipped, it will by default have you set on the single fire mode. So always make sure to press F or whatever your key is to switch fire modes to full auto or 3-round burst or whatever fire mode you want preferable to you. Otherwise, unless you really like single fire, which I don't really understand, but whatever. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. When you spawn in the game, when you first spawn in the game, you need to change your fire mode. Press F or whatever, fire mode to full auto. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in a situation where you forgot to switch the fire mode and you're stuck on single fire for the rest of the battle. That sucks. Trust me, it sucks. So yeah, those are its fire modes, and once again, it's the only assault rifle in Combat Arms at the moment to have all 3 fire modes available to it: single fire, 3-round burst, and full auto. So you make sure you use each one to your discretion, and yeah, take advantage of them. And one thing about the 3-round burst, I mentioned before that it's pretty hard to control the recoil on the K2. The 3-round burst on the K2 is pretty niftily useful for that. So if you need to control the recoil, put on 3-round burst, and it should do the job for you, I think. I've never really tried 3-round burst on the K2 much, so I can't really say for sure. Moving on to its luck. I would have to say the luck is actually very low because I don't think I've ever gotten a headshot, or not ever, but I'm sure I got some, but I don't think I get very many headshots, unintentional headshots with the K2. It's just one of those guns where it refuses to give me lottos. And his ammo capacity is at standard 30 rounds per magazine and 90 in reserve. Keep in mind that I have an extended mag 1 in both gameplay videos. Let's see, key physical characteristics. About its key physical characteristics, there are other, actually I'll get into that in a second, but it looks like to me it looks like an AK, and that's understandable because it's a Korean version of an AK. It's a Korean variant of an AK, so in case you guys didn't know that, the K series are Korean made. So, yep. Just some interesting fact of trivia right there. And there's really not much to say about the K2. One physical characteristic of it is that its barrel is actually undermounted. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, there are 2 kind of barrel-looking thingies on the K2, and the bottom one is the bottom barrel is actually underneath the top barrel, and the bottom barrel is actually the one that fires bullets. So I don't know if you guys are gun junkies or not, but I don't know. It's something unique. Moving on to its muzzle noise. Muzzle noise, it's actually loud, or it's actually high frequency, but it's not that loud. You can get away with middle range combat and full auto, and most of the time people won't be able to hear you, especially if it's an open map like this. Moving on to its attachment options, you can attach any attachment on it: silencers, magazine modification, or scope. And fireteam worthy? I don't think so. Don't use this gun for a fireteam at all because it feels weak. I don't understand why, but it just feels weak. And if something feels weak, don't bring it with you to fireteam. It's not going to help you at all. I mean, it might be a good point gun, but you want to take down zombies fast as you can. Whether or not it's quarantine worthy, I wouldn't say it's quarantine worthy either because it's got a slow portability. Even if it has a 74 rate of fire, portability is unbearable. At 57, it's like, wow, really? Wow. Anyways, moving on to its what is this next one? Alright, my frank personal opinions. The K2 is a solid gun, and it definitely has its uses and unique traits, like its three fire modes available to it, but so the damage is the biggest problem with me. I don't understand why sometimes there are going to be situations where I can't put someone down fast enough. Of course, it could be due to the fact I'm spraying and my bullets just aren't hitting the guy. But I swear I've had multiple games in which I was just spraying this guy down, and like I would see him blood splatter out of him like 4 or 5 times, and he still won't die. It's close range. It's like, what the hell, man? Just die. So I don't know. The K2, it says it's got a damage of 40 and a rate of fire of 74, but I'm doubtful of that. I'm very doubtful. So it's a solid gun. I suggest you guys try it, but be prepared for those rage-inducing moments where you absolutely think that you should have gotten that kill and you shouldn't have died. So moving on to its final rating. Let's see. So at close range, I'm gonna have to give this gun only about a 70. It's not that great at close quarters. Middle range, it does a little bit better at about 80 because you've got those 3 fire modes at your disposal. So toggle through them to see which one's best for you in whichever situation. And at long range, man, don't get me started on long range. Damage drop-off is very, very bad for the K2. And, I mean, it's got an accuracy of 85, so by no means is its accuracy subpar, but, ooh, headshot. But then, man, Tapfire is, even though it's good for the first 8 bullets or so, for longer than that, it's just not worth it. So I'm gonna have to give it like a 50. And that gives us a final rating of 66 and 2/3%. So, hope you guys enjoyed the K2 episode. This will be the only episode of its chapter, because the K2 is by itself. I mean, technically it does have other variants, but they're variants of other gun types. So I won't be going to those. I'm just gonna be doing separate episodes on them. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and have a nice day, guys. Peace.